Good morning, everyone. My name is Ainu Shafika from Group 1. I am the first presenter for our group. Our presentation is titled Water Pollution at Sungai Juru, Penang, which focuses on industrial-related heavy metal pollution, environmental impacts, and the challenges associated with its long-term management. Next, this is our team member, and this is our table of content. First of all, I will start with introduction. In this part, I will introduce the topic and explain why this issue is significant. Sungai Juru is located in Seberang Perai, Penang, and flows through one of the most heavily industrialized regions in Malaysia. From an environmental engineering perspective, rivers like Sungai Juru function as natural drainage system that receive surface runoff, treated wastewater and industrial discharge. Ideally, these inputs should be controlled so that the river can maintain acceptable water quality standards. Historically, Sungai Juru supported surrounding ecosystem and nearby communities. However, rapid industrialization beginning in the 1970s significantly changed the river's condition. The establishment of the Juru Industrial Estate introduced various industries, including metal plating, electronic manufacturing, and chemical processing. While this industry contributed to economic growth, environmental protection measures that at that time were relatively limited. As a result, partially treated or untreated industrial effluent containing toxic substance was discharged into the river over long periods. From an engineering standpoint, this continuous pollutant loading exceeded the river's natural assimilative capacity. Over time, pollutant accumulated not only in the water column, but also in the river sediment, leading to chronic and persistent contamination. This case study is significant because it represents long-term industrial pollution rather than a short-term accidental spill. Sungai Juru clearly demonstrates the consequences of inadequate wastewater management and highlights the importance of integrating environmental consideration into industrial development planning. Next, I will pass the presentation for Afika.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Afika Rayahani binti Rosli. So, continuing from the background, I will explain the types of pollution, their sources, and also the impacts on society and environment. The dominant types of pollution in Sungai Juru is chemical pollution, where is particularly heavy metal contamination. The heavy metals that are commonly detected in this river include cadmium, lead, zinc, and also chromium. These metals are frequently associated with industrial processes such as electroplating, metal finishing, and also electronics manufacturing. From an environmental engineering perspective, these heavy metals are classified as hazardous pollutants because they are non-biodegradable and also toxic even at low concentration. Unlike organic pollutant, heavy metals cannot be broken down or cannot be degraded naturally. So once they are released into the river, they persist in the environment for a long time or for many years. Next, the primary source of this pollutant is industrial wastewater discharge. Although some factories are equipped with treatment system, inefficiencies such as outdated technology, poor maintenance, or inadequate monitoring can result in heavy metals being released into the river. Another critical source is river sediment, where heavy metals bind to fine particles and accumulate at the riverbed. This creates a serious problem because sediment act as secondary pollutant source. During high flow events or disturbances, contaminated sediment can release heavy metals back into the water, prolonging pollution even if surface discharges are reduced. For this slide, the impacts of this pollution are extensive. For environmental impact, heavy metals disrupt aquatic species ecosystem, reduce biodiversity, and cause bioaccumulation in aquatic organisms. While from a human health perspective, exposure to heavy metals may lead to neurological disorders, kidney damage or kidney failure, and other chronic health conditions. While for socioeconomic impact, Polluted rivers reduce land and water resource value, affect fisheries activities, and increase the cost of water treatment and environmental rehabilitation.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Fatin Elisa binti Rosli. Next, I will discuss the current water quality status of Sungai Juru and its relationship with the Sustainable Development Goals. Water quality is commonly evaluated using the Water Quality Index, or we call it WQI, which combines parameters such as dissolved oxygen, biochemical oxygen demand, chemical oxygen demand, ammoniacal nitrogen, and suspended solid. Based on reported assessments, Sungai Juru is classified under Class 4 to Class 5, indicating severely polluted conditions. Water in this category is unsuitable for drinking, recreational use, or supporting most forms of aquatic life without extensive treatment. High BOD and COD values indicate excessive organic and chemical loading, which reduces dissolved oxygen levels in the river, and in addition, the presence of heavy metals in both water and sediments further limits the effectiveness of natural self-purification processes. One of the major challenges in river recovery in the presence of heavy metals in river sediments. These pollutants tend to settle at the bottom of the river and can remain there for a very long time. The problem becomes worse during floods or physical disturbances, where the sediments are stirred up and heavy metals are released back into the water. This recontamination threatens water quality and harms aquatic life. Unfortunately, natural self-purification processes are not strong enough to remove these heavy metals completely. As a result, river rehabilitation requires long-term management and active human intervention rather than relying on natural recovery alone. This case study is closely related to Sustainable Development Goal 11, which focuses on creating sustainable, safe and resilient cities. Polluted rivers have a direct impact on urban environmental quality, affecting water resources, ecosystems, and public health. Contaminated river can increase health risk for communities and reduce the overall livability of urban areas. In addition, this case study aligns with Sustainable Development Goal 12, which promotes responsible consumption and production. Poor industrial waste management and practices go against the principles of sustainable production and environmental responsibility. Improving waste management and reducing pollution are essential steps toward achieving the long-term sustainability and protecting the environment.
Hi, my name is Atika Afina. For this section, I will explain the mitigation strategies to address pollution in Sungai Juru. From an engineering perspective, the most effective mitigation strategy is source control, where industrial wastewater treatment systems are upgraded before effluent is discharged into the river. This upgrade should incorporate advanced physical and chemical treatment methods such as chemical precipitation, absorption, ion exchange, and membrane filtration, which are effective in removing heavy metal from wastewater. This is crucial because heavy metals like cadmium, lead, zinc, and corium are non-biodegradable and persistent, allowing them to accumulate in the river system over time. Furthermore, the implementation of real-time water quality monitoring system using sensor and IoT technology enable continuous monitoring of river condition and enhance early detection of pollution incident. Continuous monitoring also supports improvement in the Water Quality Index, which currently classifies Sungai Juru as Class 4 to Class 5, indicating surf pollution. However, engineering solutions alone are not sufficient. Strong policy enforcement is required to ensure effective pollution control. This includes stricter discharge standards, regular environmental audits, and firm enforcement action where industries are held accountable for any non-compliance. In addition, nature-based solutions such as phytoremediation and establishment of riparian buffer zone can complement engineering measures by reducing pollutant inputs and stability riverbank. This approach also helps limit the remobilization of heavy metal from contaminated sediment, which act as secondary source of pollution. In conclusion, Sungai Juru represents a complex and long-standing case of industrial pollution. The river water quality is currently classified as Class 4 to Class 5, reflecting severe environmental degradation. Pollution persists not only in the water column, but also in the river sediment, particularly in the form of heavy metal. Nevertheless, river rehabilitation remain achievable through an integrated approach to combine engineering solution, policy enforcement, and nature-based strategy. These highlight the critical role of engineering in balancing industrial development with environmental protection to support sustainable development.